Hey, Titans fans, subscribe for Titans Dubs, right? Subs for Titans Dubs. That's what today's show is all about. After Tennessee had a big win against the Raiders, we are 200 subs away from 5K. More subs equals more videos. So did I say sub already? Hit that subscribe button. Coming up here on today's show is I'm going to walk you through all the news, notes, rumors, everything that you need to know around the Tennessee Titans after their 24-22 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's face it, this game for both teams was massive. Both teams entering this contest were 0-2. And for the Titans, it was a short week after playing on Monday Night Football, getting blown out by the Bills. And you answered the call. Like, let's face it, that first half of action should be what the Titans try to do every single day. Every single game out there, if the Titans can get that offense going and they can rely on Derrick Henry, your first 3 drives all resulted in touchdowns, that's the good. The bad is you have to see, all right, well, we were up 21-10, 24-10 essentially, and then you don't score any points in the second half. The Raiders had multiple opportunities to get back into that game. So you got the good, you got the bad, but you got the most important thing, which was a W. So let's talk about some of the takeaways from this game. The offensive line for Tennessee, I do still think it's an issue. Las Vegas is one of the worst teams in the NFL in terms of getting sacks on a quarterback. In fact, Max Crosby is the only player that has 2 sacks on that team. So to me, there still are opportunities for your offensive line. And I'm talking about from a passing standpoint, because anytime you lose a guy like Taylor Lewan for the entire season, it's going to hurt. You're not going to be able to replace Lewan. The running game, overall, I thought the blocking did a halfway decent job. But for Dennis Daley, he's been bad. There's no really other way to look at it. 45.1 overall grade. He's ranked 67 out of 69 offensive tackles in the league. Then you got your rookie, Nicholas Petit-Frere, a 55.3 overall grade, which personally for me, I viewed him as more of a project player when he first was coming out of Ohio State. But because of the injury to Lewan, because of some other injuries there and other players essentially leaving this offseason, you've thrown the rookie into the mix. He has some of those athletic traits, but he is a little bit raw as it stands right now. So my question to all of you is, if you know that the offensive tackle position is a big-time need, you know that Taylor Lewan is done for the entire season, this is your opportunity. Should you make a trade? And every time I think of trades, I always think of coaches who have past relationships with former teams, right? Mike Vrabel has that connection with New England. There was a report that went out about 3 weeks ago that the Patriots were listening to calls for offensive tackle Isaiah Wynn. He was a first round pick back in, I want to say, the 2018 draft. So to me, Wynn could be a player who helps you out. He hasn't been spectacular this season. A 67.5 grade, 32 out of 69. He is the best offensive tackle, though, that you would potentially have on this Titans team. So, please, y'all, let me know. Do you want the Titans to trade for Isaiah Wynn? Type Y for yes, or you can let me know down in the comments section by typing your N for no. I'm curious what you guys have to say. Let's go to the next Titans takeaway here after their 24-22 win over the Raiders. Welcome back, Kristian Fulton. I was impressed by Fulton, and anytime you're going up against the Raiders, who have a lot of playmakers, and Devontae Adams, you got Darren Waller. Here's the thing, though. Major shout out to Tennessee for doubling up Adams as much as they did, and he really did a good job against Devontae. Yeah, he allowed a touchdown, but you know what? In that catch that you guys can see behind there, that's just Devontae being Devontae Adams. You're not really going to be able to slow that man down. But 5 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown, you'll take that every single day of the week. So to me, Kristian Fulton did have a very solid game. Tennessee's secondary in general, I thought, showed up for the most part. Now, if you want to bet on more Titans games, if you want to bet on the AFC South, if you want to bet on Monday Night Football, you can bet on literally anything because we got an awesome sportsbook partner. Shout out to BetUS. If you go to the link that you see below, chatsports.com/bet, and you use promo code CHAT125, it's going to get you 125% deposit bonus, which means you can put down $100, get $125 for free to bet with. What I like to think of, you order a pizza, you get a free pizza, and then they just throw in an extra pizza or 2 for free. Yeah, hell of a deal. Let's go to the next takeaway. Derrick Henry is still the key, which We know, right? I mean, it's not really a surprise to say that Derrick Henry, arguably the best running back in football, is the key to this team's success. If Tennessee can get out into a lead, and then they can just be physical like Mike Vrabel likes to be, and then it comes down to the third, fourth quarter, and you got to try to tackle this human being, good luck. 20 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. It was by far his best game of the season, which wasn't saying too much coming into the game. He had 31 carries for only 107 yards, was averaging 3.1 yards per carry. But for Tennessee, it wasn't only the running of Henry. It was how Tennessee used him in the passing game. I mean, the Raiders were like, all right, we're okay giving up 5-6 yard catches to Henry. That first screenplay, if Henry doesn't bobble that on his neck for 2 seconds, that's a lot more than a 23-yard pickup. It wasn't only the way that they used him in the running game, it was also how Henry was used in the passing game, which then set up and made life easier for Tannehill. Tannehill's not going to be a quarterback that is going to lead you to the promised land in terms of him being this elite guy. He's a game manager, and that's okay. All you need is Tannehill to not make mistakes. He did throw one really bad interception that was picked off by Daron Harmon, but luckily your defense was stepped up. They took the ball down to the 31. You moved them back, which then took you out of field goal range. Tannehill in this game, I thought he did almost everything perfect, minus that interception. 264, a touchdown. Sure, you were looking for a little bit more out of the second half, but you also have to tip your cap to the Raiders and their defense for making a lot of adjustments. Robert Woods, he put up a lot of numbers there in that first half. All 4 catches, all 85 yards. I don't know what the Raiders were trying to do, trying to put linebackers on Woods, that he's going to win that matchup every single day of the week. To me, though, he looked really healthy, which is a big-time sign. Let's go to the next takeaway here. Austin Hooper. Is he being phased out? One of the biggest talking points that I know that we had on this Titans channel in the offseason was we needed to find a tight end. Needed to find a better tight end because Geoff Swaim wasn't that guy. What is he? Is Geoff Swaim that guy? Because numbers talk. 23 snaps for Austin Hooper, who you signed this offseason, 2 catches on 19 yards. For Tennessee, though, in this game, particularly, Hooper is not as good of a blocker as Swaim. At least that's my personal opinion. Now, maybe because they got out to that early lead, that's why Swaim ended up getting almost double the snaps, 40, 3 catches for 19 yards. But also, it was just the overall use of all 3 of your tight ends. Then you have Kevin Rader. You throw him into the mix here, 15 snaps. Sure, he didn't get any targets, but the fact that Swaim had a touchdown, the fact that from top to bottom, you're moving around a lot of these different tight end looks. So here's my question to you. Who's the tight end? If your mom, let's say your mom, maybe your dad, somebody who doesn't really pay attention to football said, who's the Titans starting tight end? How would you answer that question? I would have said Austin Hooper, but after yesterday's game, I might say Geoff Swaim. I'm still going to type AH, but I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about this one. GS for Swaim. AH for Hooper, KR for Radar. Let's go to the final takeaway here for the Titans. The defensive line needs to be better. The Raiders were able to run the football very effectively yesterday with Josh Jacobs. But you know what? The defensive line, which I hear you, a lot of injuries, losing Harold Landry, it's another player you're just simply not going to be able to replace. But I'm going to look at a guy like Jeffrey Simmons, and if you want to get paid like one of the top interior defensive linemen in the league, you need to step up a little bit. Not that he played bad by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what? If you want to go up against some of these other teams, and I know a lot of Titans fans had high aspirations that this team was not only going to be the winner of the AFC South, but one of the top teams in the AFC, which you should have thought of, right? I mean, they were the number 1 seed last year. But Jacobs, again, 13 of 66, 5.1 yards per carry. I'm not really going to worry about Derek Carr, but Brandon Bolden, 3 for 17. I will say when it mattered the most, the Titans were able to get stops, which is really what you look for in good teams. Let's talk about an injury update here. Zach Cunningham. He did leave Sunday's game with an elbow injury. We don't know the severity as of now, but just like any other week that you have throughout the league, once the injury report comes out Wednesday, okay, you take your notes, and you see it Thursday, you hope that he gets better. The Friday injury report, that's the big one to stay updated on. And as always, we will let you guys know what happens. So hit that subscribe button if you made it to the very end of the show. I appreciate you. Shout out to producer Patrick behind the scene here pushing all the buttons. But if you made it this far, we got to be doing something right around here. So make sure you never miss any news and rumors, or if you're just a Titans fan, seriously, hit that sub button.